mandala, please.
Sashi Buki Jukching Metok Chon Rirabling Shi Ninde Gampadi Sange Shindu Mikte Wargi Jokun Namdak Shingla Drupar Shok Idam Guru Ratnamandalakam Niryatayami.
I go for refuge in time and light to the Buddha, compassion, knowledge, and strength, the Dharma, the enlightened side of truth, and the Sangha, the community of realized beings. From the virtuous merit I create from the practice of giving with understanding of emptiness, moral discipline with the understanding of emptiness, patience with the understanding of emptiness, joyous effort with the understanding of emptiness, concentration and wisdom, may I attain the state of a Buddha for the benefit of all living beings. I go for refuge until I am enlightened to the Buddha, compassion, knowledge, and strength, the Dharma, the enlightened side of truth, and the Sangha, the community of realized beings. From the virtuous merit I create from the practice of giving with the understanding of emptiness, moral discipline with the understanding of emptiness, patience with the understanding of emptiness, joyous effort with the understanding of emptiness, concentration and wisdom, may I attain the state of a Buddha for the benefit of all living beings. I go for refuge until I am enlightened to the Buddha, compassion, knowledge, and strength, the Dharma, the enlightened side of truth, and the Sangha, the community of realized beings. From the virtuous merit I create from the practice of giving with the understanding of emptiness, moral discipline with the understanding of emptiness, patience with the understanding of emptiness, joyous effort with the understanding of emptiness, concentration and wisdom, I will attain the state of a Buddha for the benefit of all living beings. Okay, let's do a little rejoicing. Let's start with Anna. Anna, you're going to do your rejoicing? Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I'm recording in Russian and I don't understand that it's about me. About my rejoicing, I'm very glad that we start one more course with you, dear Lama Sumati. And also, we have a lot of snow and pretty cold. And so I'm also glad of winter.
Okay. Let's go with Daria. What do you have to rejoice in?
I rejoice. Yesterday, some people said me, "Oh, you have imagined work." I say, "Why?" Because you can every day do meditation and yoga early morning in your work. Oh, yes, you're right. It's imagine because I every day I come to my job and before started I do yoga 10 minutes and meditation 6 minutes.
Good. Well, that's a start. You can get that longer as your opportunity progresses, but excellent. You have a good a routine,
Yeah.
a schedule. That's excellent. I'm trying to get myself back into that, and I stay up too late, and so I want to sleep. I got to redevelop the habit to have a better practice, and I'm doing that. I said at the beginning of this year that I was going to do that. So, okay, well, I don't need to rejoice yet. Let's go with Lydia. What do you have to rejoice in?
Hello, dear Lama Sumati. Hello, everyone. I had a special moment with my husband. I was studying ACI and I was doing something in my notebook. And he came to me and he started to ask what am I doing after 4 years. And we decided to see video with a pen by Geshe Michael. And he heard the first time, I think, about a pen with me.
Wow. Excellent. You got another convert. Maybe you can start studying together. That's
you.
wonderful. Congratulations. Okay, Mike.
Good morning. What do I have to rejoice about today? I talked to this guy. I've been talking to this guy on the phone for a couple years now. I met him in the recovery kind of community, and he's always been in this like really bad housing situation. And I want to report that he just moved out into his own place and is like starting over. And I just want to rejoice for that because it's brought a lot of like happiness to him, and he's been waiting to do this for a while, and he finally, I guess, collected the seeds to see his environment shift. So I want to rejoice on that.
Well, the fact that you have the karma to see that speaks well of your past deeds, and you're rejoicing in it now. So that means you're setting the seed for more seeds like that to ripen. Excellent. Yeah, it must be extraordinary to see the joy in his demeanor for something like that. It's something I always assume. I've never had to struggle for where I was going to stay. So that's wow, excellent. Okay, Katya, you're up. I want to say we spent a very nice time with Katya and the group down in Mexico, and it was lovely. The weather was wonderful. We just had a grand time. I wanted to thank Katya and her sister and all the people that helped with that. It was extraordinary. Okay, now you can rejoice.
Hey, thank you. I want to rejoice in having the opportunity to begin a new course with all of you, and that I'm being disciplined with my daily practice of Thousand Angels.
No, good. Yeah, that was a very enjoyable teaching. Yeah. Okay. Katrina, what do you have to rejoice in?
Hello, dear Sumati. I rejoice that we started the new course. I rejoice about my practices, and I rejoice I have a gift from my husband, a new notebook computer.
Wow. Excellent. What kind of computer?
This is difficult question.
Is it a Macintosh or a Mac or?
Marker?
Well,
No.
congratulations. Getting a new computer is, at least for me, is always fun. Okay, we're down to Tatiana. What do you have to rejoice in? I like the lights, by the way. I like your lights.
Здравствуйте, дорогой Лама Сумати, всех приветствую.
Hello, Venerable Sumati. Hello, everyone. Can you see me?
Сидит и пришла на занятие.
my angel is here, and I'm here to join the class that everybody could make it. I turned those lights to inspire you, everybody. I was told this is like for the enlightenment, so I just kept my Christmas tree. I know I decided to come to the ACI 11 with this beauty.
Good. Well, thank you. I love Christmas tree lights. Christmas lights, that's very festive. And I'm glad your mother's there with you. Okay, Claire, you're up.
Hello, everyone. Hello, Dela Sumati. First of all, I would like to rejoice that we have this rejoicing practice because, like today after the walk, instead of have critical train of thought, how everyone was wrong and how it's unfair, how they behave towards me, and etc., I was thinking that I can tell in rejoicing practice that I tried to not get mad in the morning when I was late around half an hour and they asked me to do lots of things, and then they told that they will monitor time of arrival and there will be some fines to get late and etc. And there were many tasks to do even from Sunday, and instead of get mad in such situation, I decided I tried to concentrate on the current tasks and turned on like Diamond Kata Sutra and like trying to calm down and do my best at tasks what were in the agenda. So I would like to rejoice that we have these tools which can remind us that these people are coming from our seats, and it can prevent our anger and mental afflictions.
Well, that's what we're going to be talking about today. So very good. And let's see, is Shinar, do you want to rejoice?
Yes, I can rejoice. I can rejoice both languages. Just okay. Well, hello everybody. First of all, and well, my rejoicing is to be able to interpret today for all of you who is listening. So, and that we can, and all of us that we can take care of our family. Sometimes I forget that even taking care of our kids, our husband, our work, it is a part of, we don't call it dharma, but I think it's, if we do it with joyful effort and remind ourselves that we are planting good seeds with the people, with our loved ones, that's already a powerful seed on its own. And it starts there and goes, and hopefully it will grow to our community and the extended relatives and etc.
Excellent, excellent, good point. Now, how many here know the member of our Sangha named Coco? You know, doesn't she look like Shinar? Don't they have a very similar? That's a compliment. I think Coco's absolutely beautiful. So,
Oh, thank
anyway,
you, thank you.
So, well, Claire has a raised hand. What do I don't
Oh,
see
I
there.
just know Coco, that's why.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay. Okay. Well, let's see if we can get started with class here. So I need to share. Oh, first I need to get projected. Now, why is that not? Well, this was working just a few minutes ago. I'm clicking on the projection part and I'm not. Oh, I know why. I need to go to Zoom. No? Huh. Well, let's try. Okay, let's try this. You see the screen now?
Yes, we can see.
Okay. Well, I'm not getting. What's going on here? I'm not getting a screen I should be seeing. Just hang on a minute. What is going on here?
We can see your screen.
There we go. There we go.
Okay.
Yeah, I was clicking on the wrong thing. Okay, so I have to rejoice. Well, we can't let that go by. I rejoice that we're meeting again for another class. We're making good progress through the courses. I rejoice we found a new walker for me that's built for someone my height instead of the one I was using, and it's much more comfortable to use. That's rejoicable. My balance is beginning to be an issue, and I'm rejoicing in the fact I can still have a positive attitude with my illness. I found I can smell smoke now, so I actually can smell something finally again. And but that doesn't help much with eating. I still have no taste, but hasn't stopped me from eating. What else can I rejoice about? Oh, I got a request to to finish an article for a journal, and I was able to ship that off last night, so I can focus my attention on getting ready to teach. I'll be teaching 4 days a week, so it's going to be a busy time. We're starting to figure out what we want to do for our 50th wedding anniversary, and I'm waiting for some final decisions to be made, but March 21st, 50 years. That's older than pretty much everybody. Yeah, so I'm not sure. We have a plan. We're not going to do anything really extravagant in terms of travel, but we have a couple of ideas up our sleeve, so we'll see if we can make those come to fruition. Okay, I just rejoice in having all of you as students and being able to teach still. I think there's going to be a day when I can't, and I'm not dwelling on that. Oh, I know the other thing I want to rejoice in. I think I shared with you, maybe I didn't, that I had two solid state hard drives fail on me, and I didn't get upset. I sent them off to a company to try and recover the data, and they were going to charge me. Originally, they said it was going to be $8,000 to get this data recovered. $8,000. And I said, I can't afford $8,000. And they said, how about four? I thought, well, four is better than eight, but I can't afford four. They finally got it down to 500 per drive. And I still didn't want to spend that much money. And so I just asked them to send the drive back. But throughout the whole thing, I wasn't angry. I wasn't frustrated. And so I immediately got a regular, normal hard drive and backed up everything on that. And that's my primary backup now, which I don't use very often. But I just rejoice in the fact that I didn't get mad, didn't get angry, and that was an unpleasant experience became fairly pleasant. The data I lost, I have no idea what I lost, but that's okay. All right, so here we go. Course 11, Guide to Bodhisattva's Way of Life, Part 2, Class 1. Now I'm trying a slightly different way of approaching my teaching now because Course 16 was primarily asked for by Russian students. And so I'm going to teach from my teaching slides that have already been given to the translator so that he or she can just pretty much read along with me, but in Russian. And then I'll give the slides to all of you as students at the end of each class. So here we go. So there are four important aspects of our lineage that I need to just remind us all about. Obviously, we study the Dharma. We have our daily practice. And I think it's important to remember that when we say you've done your practice in the morning, you've done your morning practice. Your practice is 24/7, 365. You're looking for opportunities to practice instead of saying, well, I did it this morning at 10 a.m., so I'm done. I don't need to worry about being a Buddhist anymore for the day. And service. We have the daily practice. We study. We're doing what we're doing now. We're taking a course. We have the meditation, which I'm still struggling with because my tremor is very distracting, and my medication is such that I tend to fall asleep. We were watching a show last night, and it was about Ecuador. We had been to Ecuador, and we were watching this story about the jungle and the rainforest. And they had how do you pronounce it? A Cody. We pronounce it as Coati, but a Cody. And they were tracking this young orphan Cody, and they caught him in a tree, and he was falling asleep in this tree. It was really, really quite endearing. And it reminded me that because of my medication, I tend to drop off when I try to meditate. So that's been a struggle, which I'm still working on. I'm going to overcome it. But it just was funny watching this animal perched in a tree, falling asleep, and then waking up. Oh, you'd have to be there. Anyway, and then service. Service is the one thing that I think we can tend to think if we've done our practice in the morning and meditation and service. Well, I think service is one of the best ways, easiest way to gain a lot of merit. So I encourage people to remember the service aspect and work hard at finding opportunities to serve. And if you're at all involved in ACI, there are plenty of opportunities to serve. If you get involved at Diamond Mountain, there are plenty of opportunities. So take advantage of them and try and work on. I was going to say try and work at the highest potential object of service, but do service for all levels of power of the object. Obviously, if you can do something directly for Geshe Michael, that's huge. But being able to do stuff for other students is obviously very important too. Okay. So we have an emphasis in our lineage of striving for skill at deep meditation. I remember Geshe saying once, he says 1 to 2 hours per day. I initially thought that meant we had to actually sit and strive to get meditation, an hour meditation. And I remember listening to him say, it's okay to get 5 minutes of deep meditation, and then take a break and try and get 5 minutes more, etc. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm trying to get my meditation to be 5 or 10 minutes without falling asleep and without forgetting my meditation object. And having an environment conducive to practice what you're learning. That's I think that's something that's overlooked frequently by students. You have to, how can I put this? You want to have an area in your house or your apartment or wherever you live that's sacred in the sense that you don't put your keys on the altar, you don't use books as code. It's just your altar area is sacred and you keep it clean and nice and tidy. And when you sit down in front of it, you're happy to be there. It's part of your special part of your life. Okay, so we study the Dharma of texts and authors. We establish the lineage, the purity of the teaching. I think that's very important to remember. I try very hard when I teach that if I say something that isn't scripturally related, that you're clear that it's coming from me instead of an actual scripture. That's important to keep the purity of the teaching. So you understand when it's my idea or my lovely wife's idea or something like that, that it's not necessarily a direct lineage issue. Okay. And so for this course, our root text is going to be Guide to the Bodhisattva's Way of Life by Master Shantideva, 700 AD. As I've said before, when I teach the Bodhisattva material, find a copy of the Guide to Bodhisattva's Way of Life that you enjoy reading. I have one by Stephen Batchelor, which I mentioned before was his first translation. And I really enjoy it. But have it so you can refer to it. I have a list of maybe 30 quotes from Guide to Bodhisattva's Way of Life that I can refer to when I teach. The commentary we're going to be studying is The Entry Point for Children of the Victorious Buddhas by Gyaltsen J. We're going to be studying the chapters on patience, joyous effort, and concentration in this course. So we mentioned daily practice is 24/7 or 24/365. It's important to develop the daily discipline with joy in your heart. That's very important. It can't be, oh, I have to practice today. It's, I get to practice today. I get to put into motion what I've learned and generate lots of wonderful credit. You may do your sit in the morning, but your practice is, well, it's not. It's 24/7, 365. Oops. Retreats. The culmination of our lineage is retreat in the terms of conventional practice. Get in the habit of doing retreat. Retreat means no computers, no television, no phone, no outside contact when you get to the serious long versions. An important part of retreat is you make the time, you start with 1 or 2 days, move up to a week, then a month. The point is, if you schedule a retreat, do the retreat. If you say you're going to do the retreat on your birthday, and someone asks you to go out for dinner on your birthday, no, you schedule a retreat on your birthday. Now, I don't schedule retreats on my birthday because I like to go out for dinner. But the point is, if you schedule time for a retreat and decide not to, you're setting the karma for not getting to do retreat. So if you have trouble getting the time to do retreat, the obvious solution is to find a karmic partner and help them get into retreat and dedicate that for you to get into retreat. It's tough. We were very fortunate living at Diamond Mountain. We were retired. We could do retreat pretty much anytime we wanted. And I had the opportunity to do my first tantric retreat in Geshe Michael's and Lama Christie's yurt that we had erected on Diamond Mountain ground. And that was truly amazing. So the key, like I said, is to schedule them and stick with the schedule. His emphasis, we try and emphasize doing it on meditation, but it could also be a study retreat. I do caution all of you that you may have heard of people getting through the ACI courses, just blowing through them really quickly. Take the courses. The way we did it to get through the course and get ready for the tantric teachings was for instance, on Sunday, we'd listen to a tape. This is back when they had cassette tapes. How many of you remember what a cassette tape looks like? Yeah. Well, that dates all of us. Anyway, we listened to a tape. We do the homework. Let's see, how did we do that? We did the homework that night, and we did all the reading, and we did the quiz. I guess we listened to the tape, we did the homework the next night, we did the quiz the next night, and so we were getting 2 classes a week. And if you don't set up a schedule like that, you're going to find the ACI courses don't get done. When we first started the ACI courses, we did a class, and I said, oh, we'll get to the next one soon. And we found it was 2 weeks before we made the time to get to the next tape. So that's when we decided to be disciplined and make sure that we had a schedule. So I urge you to do that. Okay, everyday life is a chance to practice interactions with your family and friends. Very powerful karmic objects. So the interaction with your family, and especially your family, your parents, your siblings, your spouse, all very powerful karmic objects. So doing nice things for them is very powerful. Getting angry at them, very powerful karmic objects. You don't want to do that. Interactions with the public on your way to and from work. You have the opportunity to observe people in their everyday life, help them as best, even if it's something as supposedly seemingly trivial as opening a door. For me, if I'm using my walker, opening a door, especially one with a spring hinge, is is problematic. And you'd be amazed, well, I'm amazed at the number of the karma I have for the number of people who just walk by. I can't open the door. Well, it's hard for me to open the door by myself. So anyway, but that's coming from not from them. It's coming from me. Interactions at work. I was fortunate. I loved every job I had except one. I couldn't get to work early enough or stay late enough. And so I do miss by not working, I do miss the interactions, a lot of the daily interactions. But I'm trying to do more around our community to interact with people. I had an interesting thing yesterday. There was a lunch they put on. So I went to it without my lovely wife. She was doing something else at the time. And 3 or 4 people came up to me and asked, where's my wife? Why isn't she here? Is she okay? I was like, she's fine. She let me out of the house on my own. It's okay. I'll be all right. But it was sweet to have people be curious. It's interesting, after many years of my wife being somewhat in the shadow of what I did at Diamond Mountain, she did a tremendous amount of things for Diamond Mountain, but I had a more visible profile, being out and about all the time. And now it's the reverse. Everybody knows her, and some of them know me. So it's interesting. She was the wife of, at the time, I was David Stump, and now I'm the husband of Sarani. It's pretty funny. Okay, so we're going to do some review here. So, what is bodhicitta? Who wants to tell me what's the definition of bodhicitta? Oh, come on. It's not a trick question. Claire?
Relying the I'm sorry. The wish to reach total enlightenment for the sake of every living being.
That's Mahayana. So you fell into my trap. That's Mahayana bodhicitta. The definition of bodhicitta is the wish for enlightenment. It says nothing about total enlightenment. Now, I make a bigger deal about this than probably most teachers, but I remember wondering what total enlightenment was. I mean, enlightenment is enlightenment. How can you have kind of enlightenment and then total enlightenment? Well, we're going to see. So, the correct answer is, and thank you for doing that, Claire. I knew you knew the right answer. You just made it look like you didn't. Okay, the wish to attain enlightenment. How many kinds of bodhicitta are there? Another trick question.
2 kinds of bodhicitta, in the form of wish and in the form of action.
Right, very good. There's 2, wishing and action. Then there's a 3 bodhicitta, types of bodhicitta. The listeners and self-made Buddhas, their bodhicitta, their wish for enlightenment is nirvana. And then there's Mahayana, wish for enlightenment. So if you really want to get technical, I just like playing a little bit with this. If you really want to get technical, the listeners and self-made Buddhas have their enlightenment is nirvana. And then there's Mahayana bodhicitta, which is the wish to achieve enlightenment for the benefit of all living beings. What's the difference? Consider reaching nirvana for themselves as enlightenment. And Mahayana bodhicitta is the wish to attain enlightenment for the benefit of all living beings. Okay, there are a series of contemplations we have in this class. So I'm going to read them to you. So just close your eyes and listen carefully, please. Contemplation 1, anger destroys good karma. A single instance of anger destroys whatever good deeds you may have amassed in thousands of eons spent in practices like giving or making offerings to those who have gone to bliss. There is no kind of deed as evil as the act of anger. There is no spiritual hardship like patience. Practice it then. Concentrate on patience in many different ways. So anger itself is bad. The worst is anger directed at a bodhisattva because it destroys eons and eons of good karma. I cannot tell who is and who is not a bodhisattva. And in theory, those that have taken the vows don't wear a button saying, hey, I'm a bodhisattva. So you can open your eyes now. We cannot get angry at anyone, even ourselves. If you've taken the bodhisattva vows, you are a bodhisattva. You can't get mad at yourself because that's getting mad at a bodhisattva. Now, I've tried to research this. Well, I haven't tried. I've researched this a bit. And what I found is the anger we're talking about is a strong, persistent anger. It's a rage. It's not the frustration anger. And there have been several papers I've read recently, articles I've read, dissecting Tsongkhapa's points on this. And I'm going to put something together soon that describes this in better detail. But the point is, don't get angry at anybody. Now, I get frustrated. What leads me to anger is frustration. I try and open a Ziploc bag, and I can't do it. It takes far too long. I took 45 minutes to change the sheets on my bed. That used to take me 10 minutes. So it's frustrating, and frustration to me leads to anger. So I know when I'm getting frustrated, I need to stop and realize I'm getting frustrated and that's going to lead to anger. So the key for me in this instance is I'm mad at the Ziploc bag because it's not letting me open properly. Well, a Ziploc bag could care less about who's trying to open it. So I need to see it as an ignorance, as seeing it as self-existent and acting as if they are self-existent, trying to prevent me from opening it. Basically, in these situations, you're saying it's your karma, but instead of it's my karma, so. And I know I've repeated this time and time again, and you've all heard it. You're all probably tired of hearing it. But if you're honest with yourself throughout the day, you end up, if you're like me, you end up doing something where you say, it's my karma, but in this case, it's really a self-existent Ziploc bag. As the anger persists, you're bathing your mind in this ignorance. It arises, persists, and then is perpetuated. I like that. I came up with it. You're bathing your mind in this ignorance. That's what we do constantly as we get from to say my karma, but we're justifying what we're doing instead of saying it's my karma. So anger, your ability to get angry is a barometer for the strength of your ignorance, which is grasping the things as self-existent. I have some friends that, I think this is where I talk about this, so now I'll repeat myself. I have a particular acquaintance from Diamond Mountain that I got along with really well. And one day at the debate grounds, the debate was going in circles and wasn't getting anywhere. And so I made the comment, could we change subjects because we're in this circle of getting nowhere. And this friend of mine erupted in anger. Now I'm 6'3". I weigh approximately 200 pounds. I'm not a big person, but I'm bigger than this guy. But he was very powerfully built, and he got right in my face and started yelling at me. And he finally calmed down, and 20 minutes later, we were sitting on a bench in the debate ground, just as friends as before. But I realized from then on, every time I saw him, I needed to be extremely careful what I said so he didn't erupt in anger. I think he is within millimeters of hitting me. That's how mad he was. So his ability to get angry basically says something about his level of development. If he thinks getting angry is okay, or he can't do anything about it, that's just setting up karma. And it's not that I'm some kind of bodhisattva well, I've taken the vow, so I guess I am a bodhisattva. But it's not that he was getting angry at me as a bodhisattva and destroying his root of virtue. It was that he was getting that angry. I can't remember getting that angry in my life. Okay. The following verse, said to be from the Sutra of Questions posed by Sumati, describes how to prevent anger from destroying virtue. Just as a drop of water fallen into the great ocean does not disappear as long as the ocean does not dry up, so also virtue dedicated to enlightenment is not exhausted until Buddhahood is achieved. So does this mean you can get angry with impunity? No. It means do any good deed with wisdom and dedicate it. Dedicate it to your future enlightenment. Get in the habit of dedicating it. That may the precious Bodhi mind not yet born arise and grow, and may that born never cease and increase forevermore. Boom, dedication, done. Or you can simply say, I dedicate the virtue of this deed. So you pick up a piece of garbage and you put it in the garbage can. I dedicate this so that I will have a beautiful, clean environment when I'm enlightened. It's that simple. I'm trying to find a source for this, and I haven't found it yet. Why care about good karma? Because every pleasant thing that has happened to you in the past, in the present, and will happen in the future comes from good deeds done in the past or present. The present is your past. How do I say that? Your past is your present, and your present is your future. Now, you've heard me say that countless times, but stop and think about it. And it's so absolutely true that it's ingrained in me. Knowing this, thinking of this phrase, really allows me to deal with Parkinson's, because I know constantly what I'm doing now is framing what's going to happen, my future is going to be like. And I'm tending to think nowadays of my future in this life. I've had some very interesting things happen to me that appear to mundane. I think I've shared with you before that sometimes something very special will happen and you want to tell other people. And you tell someone and they poo-poo it as saying, "Oh, that's not, you're overreacting. That's not true." So if you have something, this spiritual thing happen to you, I caution you to keep it to yourself rather than sharing it. I mean, obviously you can do what you want, but when something special happens for me, I'll share it with my wife because she's on the same page I am, but I won't necessarily tell a lot of people. Your job, your body, your mind, your family, spouses, friends, whatever, all come from your past good deeds. If you want to lose all of this, it's very simple. Just get angry. Persistent anger causes things in your world get worse and worse. Food is bland. Chocolate is no longer tasty. Mayonnaise still is. It's important. Mayonnaise is one of the food. There's little known. There are many different food groups: vegetables, meat, carbohydrate, and then there's chocolate and mayonnaise. I met a young lady sounds like the start of a limerick. I met a young lady from Canada who had the same liking for mayonnaise as I did. I love mayonnaise, even if I can't really taste it. So the world gets worse and worse. Food is bland. Movies are lousy. There's pollution. Dharma teachings aren't interesting. We get old. We get weak. We get a president like we now have in this country from persistent anger. Anger flowing in our channels chokes them with knots. I'm not going to get into more detail on that. If you don't like your current reality, stop getting angry, stop blaming others. It's easy to say, and it's difficult for most of us to carry out. But the bottom line is, stop acting ignorantly. Contemplation 2. Okay, close your eyes again, please. If you hold to the sharp pain of thoughts of anger, your mind can know no peace. You find no happiness, no pleasure. Sleep stays away and the mind remains unsettled. Okay, you can go ahead and open your eyes. Negative results of anger. It destroys good karma. Low level irritation such as traffic, annoyed by husband or child or friend is not what destroys good karma. It is intense anger directed at a bodhisattva that destroys your root of virtue. Anger ruins our happiness by causing these 5 problems. Your mind will never know peace. Anger will ruin your happiness. Anger prevents reaching deep states of meditation. Anger prevents you from sleeping well. Your mind will never find peace. If you're angry all the time, you're looking for reasons to be upset. That's as I see it. So if you can stop being angry, you'll stop looking for things to get you upset, and anger will no longer ruin your happiness. Anger, I haven't had anger prevent reaching deep states of meditation. I haven't had that happen. I sleep like a baby, so I can't really complain about sleeping well. Okay, here's another contemplation. Please close your eyes and listen. Suppose there was a master who bestowed upon all those within his care both wealth and honor as they wished. Still, they'd rise to kill him if he lived in fury. It leaves your friends and family tired of being with you. They refuse to stay on even though you may entice them with gifts. Okay, open your eyes. Anger damages relationships. Think how quickly anger can destroy or severely change a relationship. This is what I was talking about with the gentleman at Diamond Mountain. Of all places, for someone to get mad at somebody else, would be Diamond Mountain. What causes anger? What causes anger in any one of you? Lydia, what makes you angry?
My children, my daughter Sophia, very often.
What
And
does
I'm
she do that makes you angry?
she does not want to go sleep.
So basically she acts as a child. She's 9 years old.
She's 8. She will be 9 in April.
Oh, well, that's when you're 9 years old, 8 and 9 years old, there's lots of stuff you don't want to do. Mike, what gets you mad?
No, what gets me really mad is when people give
Ask you stupid questions.
when people give unsolicited feedback that I didn't ask for. They criticize things that I do, and no one asked for the feedback. That's what makes me angry. Oh, is that your opinion? Great. No one asked.
I had a dear friend of mine that used to reply to that with, "Thank you for sharing." It's interesting you bring that up, Mike, because yeah, I happen to have married into a family that's very common sense and practical. And invariably, I'm doing something, and one of them will say to me, you could do it this way, it'd be much easier. And it's like, thank you. Here's a quarter, call somebody who cares. That's back when they had pay phones. Interesting. But I know that. Thank you for your input. Okay, gotcha. You never get upset, right?
No, yes. When I have to explain the same thing many times.
Okay. Well, that's part of teaching, so you're going to have to get better at that. Okay. Katrina, what gets you annoyed or mad? Katrina, what gets you mad?
I say in Russian. Я злюсь, когда кто-то плохо поступает, несправедливо, и в этот момент я не помню, откуда это происходит, или когда мне кажется, что кто-то срывает свою злость на других.
I get mad if someone behaves unfairly, and when someone angry and getting that anger out on somebody.
Well, those are good reasons to get angry, except there's no good reason to get angry. So, okay, Claire, you look very introspective. What gets you angry?
Yeah, I was thinking like when people are trying to manage me, like giving tasks and directing what I should do, uh, and uh, maybe disrespect of my opinion. Mm, yeah, like the evaluation of my opinion, something like this.
Yeah, if you ask somebody's opinion, respect it. You may not agree with it, but at least let them describe it. That's frustrating to me too. Um, okay, Tatiana, what gets you mad, angry?
Я, извините,
Что вас может разозлить?
разозлить нет, я могу огорчиться.
Мгм. I
Потом
don't
еще
get
несправедливость, когда за меня что-то решают, в общем, потом говорят, что это я сказала или сделала.
Мгм.
Вернее, сказала, придумала. Такое.
Мгм.
Несправедливость, да. И когда забываю в моменте, что я не контролирую сход того, что сейчас происходит. То
Мгм.
есть это не в моих силах изменить, но я могу изменить свое отношение, но я забываю и расстраиваюсь. Ну, вот так вот, чтобы я злилась и ругалась, ну, наверное, я немножко уже с этим справилась. А чувство огорчения, которое питает гнев, оно все еще со мной. Нету радости.
I don't get I don't get mad. I get upset.
Я ответила на вопрос.
Тоже, ага. I don't get mad. I get upset when I see things unfair. When people make decisions or saying something, stating that it was me who said that or did that.
Hmm.
And of course, at the moment, I can't control that. And I forget where is it coming from at that moment. But I don't get mad. I get upset. That being upset is still there, but no joy. But I don't get mad or angry.
Hmm. Well, sort of. You are confessing what we do to others, how you respond to others. I guess, well, thank you for sharing first. And now the question is, what do you do when you feel the anger starting to come up? How do you stop it? So I'm not going to ask you individually, but reflect on, like Mike said, if someone's sharing information then he doesn't necessarily need from them, how do you counter getting mad? It's not, well, it is important not to get mad, but to me it's important to recognize it and to anticipate it. So frequently I've shared this about my brother-in-law, one of my brother-in-laws. I just prepare myself when I'm going to see him to be extra patient, and so that I don't get mad, let's say, or angry or annoyed at him for a little bit longer. One day I won't get annoyed with him at all. But if you know you're going to be in a situation that's going to possibly get you angry, anticipate it and work out your response beforehand so that you can treat it with wisdom instead of just reflexive. And that's part of our problem. We have these reflexive actions we do. So what causes anger? An irritation, that feeling in your chest you get when something doesn't go the way you expected. You dwell upon it from a self-existent standpoint. It's not fair this is happening to me. This denial of responsibility for what's happening quickly feeds into what that takes irritation to the level of anger. The antidote to anger? Why be unhappy about something if it can be remedied? And what's the use of being unhappy about something that cannot be remedied? That's from chapter 6 and it's verse 10 of the Guide to Bodhisattva's Way of Life. And it's really so succinct and I think very elegant. Why be unhappy about something if it can be remedied? Fix it. What is the use of being unhappy about something if it can't be? If you can't fix it, getting mad about it's not going to solve any problem. It's very simple, but it's something I need to constantly remind myself of. I was working on my new, we bought one of those little carts you see people driving around in stores or out in the street, just an electric cart for down the road. The neighbor was selling one for very cheap and we bought it. And I was trying to fix a few things on it. And I got to the point where I couldn't hold what I was working on. And I just started to get irritated. And I thought to myself, Sumati, this is coming from your previous deeds. So don't get mad so you don't perpetuate. Burn off this bit of anger. And it worked. I said, okay, yeah, it's my fault for making it inconvenient for people to work on with small objects. I was trying to put a nut on a bolt. And there were two things that were bothering me. One, it was in such a close space. And two, whoever thought about installing it that way didn't think about someone who doesn't have good manual dexterity. I have one invention in my life that I got patented. And one of the things I did with that invention is I made it very easy for the person operating the piece of equipment to fix problems with the equipment. Okay, joy and happiness. When you get irritated by something, take joy in knowing that it's due to your karma and it's up to you to react with wisdom, not ignorance. So something bad happens, something annoying happens. It's my karma ripening. I know if I don't respond with irritation, that I'm burning that seed off. And that's one less instance of my getting frustrated and angry to ripen in my future. Okay, here's another contemplation, so please close your eyes and listen. To put it simply, there is no one with anger who can be happy. Anger, our enemy, brings us these and other pains as well. Okay, open your eyes. The obvious physical ones we've covered. The hidden ones are the ones like degeneration of your body, your life, your world. By seriously not getting angry, your world will improve. The harder you work at it, the faster it's going to improve. The most important thing and the most frustrating thing about the practice of Buddhism in many ways is we don't get instantaneous results, good results, and likewise, we don't get instantaneous bad results. Thank goodness. So don't get discouraged if things don't get better right away. Realize you have a lot of past karma ripening, and I need to burn off. You have lifetimes of karma ripening. I need to burn this off as quickly as I can. Look at it this way. Every time you get angry, you're taking a step backwards in your practice because you're generating another seed that's going to ripen down the road. Every time you start getting angry, you stop and do a quick 4 powers. All the different ways in which you perceive things is only a mental habit. Nothing is fixed in this world. There is no quality of mind that does not come easily if you make a habit of it. We can develop patience. We can make a habit of it. What is patience? Not getting angry. How? I smile a slight smile and take joy in that I've ripened the seed of anger and purified it without replanting it. Contemplation 3. Okay, go ahead and close your eyes again. Anger feeds on the food of feeling upset. Then strengthened, it turns to smash me. So then I will smash the sustenance that feeds this enemy of mine. My foe knows no other kind of work at all except to cause me pain. No matter what happens, I will never allow my joy to be disturbed. Feeling upset cannot accomplish my hopes and only makes me lose the goodness that I have. Okay, go ahead and open your eyes. The antidote for mental afflictions is to maintain your joy. I constantly have the joy to see people parking strangely, not thinking of others when they put their shoes on the floor and not on the shelf in the temple at Time of the Mountain. The joy comes from seeing my karma ripening, not getting upset, and realizing there's yet another karmic seed I have destroyed by not perpetuating it. Refuse to be sucked into another person's anger. If you're in a conversation that turns to complaining and anger, either gently work it back to how to fix it or politely leave. Contemplation 4. Perfect patience is like any other habit, can be developed with practice. So close your eyes, please. These are short, but I want you to focus on what I'm saying. There is nothing in the world that does not come easily if you make a habit of it. Make then a habit of bearing the small pains and thus endure the greater. Okay, open your eyes. Making a new habit means starting small and building up to overcome it. The little things at work or in traffic and 4 powers where your remedy is, the restraint is your remedy. Start with watching how your mind is reacting. Use your wisdom to remind yourself where this is all coming from, your past deeds. Look to see how this benefits you because you get to practice. That's where the slight smile comes from me. I can't get this nut on this bolt. Slight smile. I know where this is coming from. I know that I don't want to get mad and do something stupid to perpetuate it. I have only thrown a tool once in my life. I was working in the basement of our house in Madison, Wisconsin, in the dead of winter, and I threw a screwdriver. It bounced off the wall and broke a window. So in the middle of a very cold day, I had to go replace that window because I threw a screwdriver as if it was the screwdriver's fault that it wasn't working. Look to see how it harms you. Only if you get upset. You have total control and are learning to use it. Oh, this is my Heart Sutra story. How does that fit in here? You've all heard my Heart Sutra story, haven't you? Contemplation 5. Patience is a decision, a state of mind. Okay, there's probably no point in closing your eyes. Let's just go ahead and do this. Some, when they catch sight of their own blood, rise to a greater ferocity. Some, when they see another person's blood, faint and fall unconscious. All this derives from either steadfastness or cowardice in the mind. Learn then to discard harms and never allow any pain to touch you. Hurt may come, but the wise never let suffering cloud their clarity of mind. We're working with an analogy here. We're at war with our mental afflictions. Two types of people are described here. What makes them different? Both are wounded, but they react differently. They see it differently. Ignorance versus wisdom. This is a state of mind, no more, no less. We can either rise to the occasion and not let adversity bother us, getting stronger the more things are hurtful or upsetting, or we can continue to whine about how life is unfair. So are we going to be warriors or are we going to be wimps? This is a pretty major decision in your practice. You need to decide whether you're going to step up to fight the battle, no matter how much it hurts, physically or mentally, or you're just going to let it roll over you and perpetuate. All the different ways in which you perceive things is only a mental habit. Remember that nothing is fixed in this world. There is no quality of mind that does not come easily if you make a habit of it. We are locked in combat with mental afflictions, and in war many wounds are sustained. Ignore then any pains that might come. Smash the foes of anger and such. Conquering these is the thing that makes a warrior. The rest are killing only corpses. We have declared war on our mental afflictions in the last course. The 6 main ones: What are the 6 main mental afflictions? Anybody? Anger, disliking things ignorantly, liking things ignorantly, ignorance itself, pride, jealousy. Fight them and you're a true warrior, more courageous than a soldier in a worldly war. A soldier in a worldly war is just killing corpses, beings that are already going to die anyway. That is the nature of human bodies in this realm. But to kill a mental affliction, that is an accomplishment. They've been around for a long, long time and know how easy it is to trick you into a reaction. So it's my karma, so. It's my karma, so. It's my karma, so. Think that constantly. Okay, I think that's all I have for today. So, yes, there is anger in this world. Yes, we know where it's coming from. Yes, we know there's a way to stop anger. And now we just have to do it. We have to develop the habit of not reacting reflexively. Sometimes my most frequent way when I get annoyed is I turn around and leave. I'll just do something like, and then just leave. And when I find myself getting ready to do that, I try and stop and face the anger, the irritation, and try and act in a way that stops perpetuating it. That's the habit I want to develop, continue to develop now is know to react with wisdom and to really emphasize it's my karma so, not my karma but. Habits are hard to break, but you can break them. You develop the habit, you can develop the habit not to have the habit. Okay, let's dedicate today's class. Let me see what I want to use for my dedication. Oh, gurus, bodhisattvas, please listen to what I now say. Just as all the previous sugatas generated the mind of enlightenment and practice in accordance with bodhisattva precepts, so shall I too, in order to benefit all that lives, give birth to bodhicitta and follow its precepts. Thank you for the opportunity to teach. Course 11 is going to be a lot of fun in the kind of warped way Dharma is fun. And so, yes, do you have a question?
Yeah, dear Lama Sumati, can I ask a question? I have such question. What about good seeds which were destroyed by anger? Can we restore them? Is it about only 4 powers, or what can we do?
Well, that's an interesting question. I haven't really come across the idea of restoring. I don't have an answer, Claire. I'll look into it. I think you can damage, the four powers damages the seed from ripening. I've never heard of something that takes a damaged seed and restores it. I'll look into it. Thank you. I needed something to do today. Now I have something to do. Okay. How do I restore? Restore a damaged virtue. Okay, we'll see you on Thursday. Good to see everybody. And thank you for translating. And it's really good to see everybody. Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you so much, dear Lama Sumati. Please stay.
That's my intent.
Спасибо, дорогой учитель. Спасибо за перевод.
Thank you, dear teacher.
Thank you so
Goodbye.
much.
Thank
Please
you
stay.
for having lights on in the background there, Tatiana. I love Christmas tree lights. Okay. Bye-bye.